back to the Community Podcast. I'm your host, Chase Johnson Lynch, and I'm here joined by one of the artists here at the Audible project that we run here at the Big Condo Academy, and that is the lovely Beth Hubbard. How you doing, Beth?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I think I can say lovely, only because I know you more than I know the other artists.
That's fine. I'll take that. I fish for the comments anyways.
Well, hey, listen,
should I say?
Beth, you do not have to fish when people are already in the pond.
Oh, well, I'll take what I can.
You know what I mean? I fish. That's my job. All right. So, but basically, I've been talking to the artists that have been doing the Audible project here, and everybody seems to have a different style of music that is kind of like their go-to. For you, you said it's more of a folk type of pop.
Yeah, I definitely have a lot of influences from a lot of different genres. But as somebody who's been performing predominantly on the guitar, listen to a lot of folk music, and that pop element from other things, they kind of just sort of blend together. So I guess.
Yeah, but would you say that's more like a Janis Joplin kind of folk?
I'll take that. Yeah,
You'll take a lot of things, won't you?
Apparently I will. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've got that kind of sound, sort of like that folk storytelling element, and then that kind of pop acoustic sort of side. They kind of sort of blend together. So I guess that's me.
Little Alanis Morissette?
Oh, absolutely.
See, I'm just only trying to show you how cultured I am.
Absolutely.
See, Phil thinks I'm totally uncultured, don't you, Phil?
Alanis Morissette's very cultured.
You're from America, dude. Just tell you.
I know, that's true.
She's American too. So
that's right,
yeah,
of course.
That's good.
Of course. So basically, you said that you've been singing or doing music professionally for around 15 years?
Yeah, thereabouts. About half my life, really. I started doing little bits of concerts, going to sort of... there's a local place where I'm from, and it has a big sort of youth theatre. We used to do performances there. So around that age, I started getting into it, and I haven't stopped since, I guess.
Well, do you believe in that whole 10-year theory?
I think there's definitely, for some people, that's how it goes. I mean, as somebody who's gone past that 10-year mark...
Well, see, this is what I'm really trying to say, though, Beth. Yeah. Have you really? I mean, you've probably been, doing your thing and everything. True, but then again, is that... Because it's like somebody could go, what 15 years? How come I never... You know, because you were just now released an EP. Your first EP, you said. So, I mean, you've been working hard. You've been building your craft over all of this time, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the EP was sort of a lockdown project, and I reached a point, I guess at that point, that was about 5 years ago that started, and I was like, let's go, let's get some tracks out there. And I feel like since then, I guess I could say that's when the balls really started rolling. And I guess I could say it's probably more of a professional element since then.
See, look at that. See, now we've kind of crunched down that time a little bit. I mean, because I think you even said, hey, I could tell you 15 years, but I've been singing since I was little. We last. You know what I mean?
Yeah, since my mouth was
everybody
open,
has.
It was singing,
for
sure. But yeah, I guess you could say I started performing and things at 15, but in terms of my professional sort of persona online and performances, I guess last 5 years or so is probably the best indication.
No, that sounds good. So out of these 5 tracks, it's called Sapphic, by the way, and it's available on Spotify, I assume, isn't it?
Yeah, that is correct.
And everything, you say that they're pretty much versions of your teen to adult experiences. How real do you get?
I like to think I'm quite real. Anybody who listens to any of my music knows that sometimes it's quite targeted at people. I never use names. I never throw people under the bus. But it's
the
definitely...
names are always got to be kept private.
Yeah. But in this instance, it was definitely more how I felt about these situations, relationships. It's also a song about sort of my mental health, which I've never shied away from.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely a little insight to that chapter of my adolescence through to young adulthood, sort of encapsulated in 5 songs.
Nice one. I gotta listen for this one.
Oh, please do.
You really do.
Why do I gotta listen, Phil?
Quality, man.
Thank
what?
you.
Total quality. Oh, all right. I thought he was trying to say I had problems and that I should be listening to.
That didn't come from me.
No. That was your mouth.
It did come from me.
Yeah.
I gotta create something. So anyway, the Audible project.
Yes.
I mean, most artists will say that I got contacted by Roy and everything else like that. But it's not just about, because he contacts a lot of artists, and everything like that. It has to be, why did you want to do the Audible project?
I thought it would be a really good opportunity to sort of push myself. I think as somebody who's a solo artist, and my network's not massive, though being on part of the roster here at Big Condo is also helpful, it was a good way to sort of meet new people and push myself creatively in a collaborative manner. So I thought that would be a really good way to sort of experience something new.
Yeah, I mean, because basically, let's talk about the collaborative manner or the collaborative situation, because you're kind of like just thrown with a stranger, who might even be of a different style. Would you say Celine has a different style than yours?
Yeah, so Celine and I have sort of partnered up for this, writing a song together. She's probably more like contemporary pop, and even though there's maybe a bit of a poppy element we share, on the grand scale of things, we wouldn't be put in the same musical category. So it's quite cool to blend those two. I mean, like, so how hard was that? Were you button heads, or I didn't hear of any fighting going on, but I mean, like, no, seriously, because you said it was a test. It's definitely, I think when you go into these experiences, you don't know what the genres necessarily of these people are. So it's always going to be testing whether you're able to adapt to a different genre of music, or whether it's that relationship you have with this person you're writing with, whether that's going to be, like you say, butting heads. But I've been really fortunate. I mean, Celine's really great. We're on the same level as people, I think, despite our genre differences. I feel like once we got into it, we were a bit like, these are the topics I write about. These are the topics I write about. Is there somewhere we can connect once taking the genre away? And I think that's kind of how we built up going from there. So it's been fun. Well,
I think it's important that you mentioned the word connection, because that's what it was. It's like you had to find a connection.
Yeah, definitely.
And basically you guys connected more on a psychological level.
Yeah, definitely.
Where you started to share stories about things from generational trauma to hard times.
Yeah, definitely.
And everything. And then now that we find similarities into that, how do we mix that together into a song? And you said you don't have a title yet.
Not at the moment. I think we were...
But you do have the idea. So why don't you tell us about the idea? Concept?
Yeah, so I think once we started getting talking and we were talking about the things we've written about in the past, we were saying it might be nice to sort of veer away from that but stay within the same sort of realm. And we both sort of talked about how our families, or when we've gone through bad times, through like sort of the generations, that all the generational things that you get passed down, we ended up finding that we're kind of like two sides of the same coin, where my experiences and her experiences are kind of the yin and yang of one another, which I thought was really interesting. Side. Yeah, actually it was really interesting to listen to. So we were quite frank, and I think from the go we were very sort of candid and coming forward with how we felt about it, what our experience was. And you might think that might be quite daunting as somebody you don't know, but I guess in that element, not knowing somebody, there's no room to judge, there's no room to be like, well, I know this about your situation. So I think it was cool to then be like, that's our topic, let's write about how we feel, and I guess a story kind of came out in words from there.
It also could be kind of like, no matter how different we are still the same.
Absolutely. Like
and like these, what they call that? The B-side? The A-side and the B-side, and all that other kind of stuff. Just remember I came up with that title first, the flip side, and it's all good. But what, Phil?
He's laughing.
I'm just very inspiring.
I don't think you rated the B-side.
Well, you heard
I
it
did.
first.
I said the flip side.
It was always called the flip side.
Okay. Anyway, so as we talked about psychology, and everything like that, what was really interesting is kind of like what she knew and what you were willing to learn.
Yeah, definitely.
And everything, but you both were talking about, when you were talking about generational traumas and past stuff and going through her stuff, it was like, we were talking about cellular memory. And, and I was wondering if that somehow got into the song, because it was about how the body knows and the body remembers.
Yeah. There was definitely so there are certain things I think maybe she has more of an understanding of, like psychology and that side of thing. But I always find it fascinating, and you were talking about cellular memory, that even though sometimes your brain isn't processing a memory, or, mentally or physically you feel fine, but your cells are like a base level. They know. And
they were there.
Oh yeah,
cells
they
were
were there. They remember.
Yeah.
And there's a line in the song, and it's basically like, "Am I happy in my own skin?" And I guess there's kind of lots of meanings, like, you know, do I physically like the way I look from what I've been passed down?
Yeah.
But also, am I actually comfortable in the body I'm in that's experienced so much?
Wow, look at that. See, Phil, I've inspired the lyrics.
There we go. There's a little credit at the end of the song.
You inspire many things in me too, Chase.
Shut up, Phil. Look at what you were inspired by.
I can't wait for you two to drop a single. This will be great.
Oh, yeah. that's this show.
Yeah.
So, you know, basically, so that's this project, and I can't wait to, you know, hear the song that I inspired. But I can't wait to hear that. But you actually happen to have a new song that you're about to drop.
Yeah, bubbling under the surface. So it's currently...
What? It's called what?
Oh, I said it's bubbling under the surface.
I thought it was called Nothing New.
It is called Nothing New. I mean, in the concept of life,
Don't
it's
change-
ready
don't-
to go. I'm sorry,
don't change
that was
what I
a red
write.
herring. I threw you off. The song is called Nothing New.
Yes.
And it is a new song, so it is something.
But there's something under the
But
surface.
and it's bubbling. It's ready. It's almost there. It's almost ready. So yeah, it's in the mixing stages. I'm hoping that'll be out sometime, sort of late spring, early summer.
But it also is, which we like to say, it's your debut single.
It is my debut single. with
Here
Big
on
Condo.
Big Condo Records.
It is. It's
And
very
everything
exciting.
like that. So, I mean, definitely look out for that. You know, where we're hoping that it'll be released somewhere in the late spring or early summer, as you just said, and everything. But as Phil says, your music is fantastic. But in that aspect, what is Nothing New about?
Nothing New is about, I guess it's not about one person. It's all to do with, I guess if you were to amalgamate all the people I've been involved with romantically in the past, and how I didn't have very much self-worth, and every time I'd go visit them, every time I'd go see them, I always had that feeling in my gut that was like, I shouldn't be doing this because they're bad for me. But I guess when you can't give yourself love, you try to look for it in places.
You know,
that,
Beth, who does not know this story?
This is what I mean. It's a story.
No, but we need a song that always reflects that kind of stuff,
This
doesn't
is
it?
it. I wanted the song to kind of not necessarily have any resolve or make people feel better at the end, but just know that, you know, you're not alone. We've all gone through this. So, yeah.
I call it backtracking.
It is kind of like that in some ways. It's that it's nothing new. I'm used to it. That's like the hook of the song, but I will keep doing it, and that's what the song's about.
And nothing wrong with that either.
Well, I'd like to think I've learned and grown a lot since then, but
Have you?
definitely the feel. I'd like to think so.
Okay.
But at least the feelings within that definitely resonate a time period in my life.
No. Well, I think it was powerful, and I'm glad that you were able to explain that because, you know, people will be like, "Oh, I'm looking for this song," because when I would ask people how can they find you, it's very simple.
I am Beth Hubbard. All my handles, all my social medias are under that.
But that's on YouTube, which you have
YouTube as well.
videos.
I do. I've got a load of videos, a mixture, different variety of things, live performances, bedroom performances. There's a music video on there that I created during lockdown for one of the songs on the EP that I did. So, yeah. There's a lot to please a lot of different people.
No. Very, very nice. And, you know, before I go into, like, what's coming up for you and everything, I would ask you, do you recommend the process that you've gone through here at the Audible?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you're a musician who's wanting to sort of try your hand at something different, whether that is your songwriting and collaborative efforts or whether it's, you know, podcasting, for example. Some people have never been on a podcast. I think it's a really great way to push yourself and also have fun as well. Like, enjoy the experience.
Always be ready for new things.
Definitely.
And everything. So what's coming up?
So I've got a couple of gigs coming up next Saturday, which will be February the 8th, if you're listening at a newer date than then. I'll be playing in Stoke, supporting Charlie on her day-by-day tour, which is very exciting. I'll also be supporting Carmelina on her tour in Leeds on the 22nd of February. And I think the next date after then is going slightly towards the end of May for the final big bank holiday weekend. I'll be playing at Cottingham Springfest, doing a slot there, which I do every year, and it'll be great to be back.
Too bad she's going to be supporting you there, Phil. You're like showcase. You know what I mean? You could be making your pitch.
I'm supporting Beth on the big Saturday as it was going.
I would,
Thank you.
Look, I was trying to give Phil a shout out that he has a show coming up.
I'm very grateful. That's the same night.
Yeah, it'll be a really good night. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Some people just don't appreciate. I know you are. I know you are. Anyway, so Beth, this has been fantastic.
Thank
You know, sharing your experience. Please look out for Sapphic. It's available on all the social platforms, and you can find Beth at I Am Beth Hubbard, as well as these updating concert events that she has coming up. Thank you very much for joining me. This is Beth Hubbard. I am Chase Johnson Lynch. Please like and subscribe. This is private. No, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, contact Phil. The way you look at it, I'm out of here. No.
We don't